good, I guess.
We had those ones that were.
I've been depending on.
I like it up as high. Yeah. No one signed any agreed with, and we've got those two requests. Okay.
All right, it's 6:30. We're going to go ahead and start tonight's board meeting. It is January 29th, 2024. We're going to start tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a meeting of the school board for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. There will be time for public participation as indicated by agenda item number 5. The board receives agenda item information and rationale for administrative recommendations for their thorough review before each meeting. We have no media present tonight, so we're going to start out with our students of the month. From Whitko Senior High, nominated by teacher Dan Coyle, we have Ryan Rose.
He speaks a lot.
Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Ryan, he's in 10th grade. He's in my AP World History class. He is one of my model students that actively participates in class. With some students, they're a little quiet, a little introverted. They don't want to necessarily say much. Ryan is not that person. He volunteers to read in class. He asks some pretty good questions. Sometimes I have to come back to him with the answers. But one of the things that impresses me the most about him is what some of the other students say about his ability to work with the other students. They speak highly of him. They think he's intelligent, and sometimes they ask for his help when it comes to some of the school. So my charge to you, sir, is I kind of tease him a little bit about joining the service later on. My understanding is he's thinking about maybe being a history teacher, but I think he has potential for leadership qualities down the road. I would encourage you to continue to study and work hard and set the bar for your guys here. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Ryan. From Whitko Junior High, nominated by Dan Coyle once again, we have Hannah Bingham.
All right, Hannah, she's in my 7th grade social studies class, and with that class, I have a lot of students that are pretty active. But Hannah is one of those students that, just like Ryan, participates in class, reads aloud, asks some pretty good questions. But the thing that impresses me the most is when I give her and the rest of the class work to do, she gets straight to it. And she's one of those type of students where if you give them a task, they get to it, they don't really ask a whole lot of questions, and they just get their work done. I think Hannah's going to be one of those students that this school district is going to be very proud of later on in life. And my charge for you, and that is also, just like Ryan said, bar high, but I think you have the potential to break some class ceilings later on in life. So continue to work hard and set the example for your students back there. Okay?
Congratulations, Hannah. From Whitko Career Academy, nominated by Don Stone and Chris Neely, we have Kavon Hurd.
It's kind of twofold here. I kind of nominated Kavon. Mr. Stone works with Kavon, and Mr. Neely works with Kavon. It's going to be kind of a two-part session here. The first session is going to be a little bit of Kavon's story. Kavon was not nominated to come to the alternative school because he was 6 credits behind going into his junior year in his core classes. Not through his elective, not number of credits, just core classes. He was 6 credits behind. Just didn't do particularly well in those particular classes. First 9 weeks of school, Kavon got all those done, knocked those out with the Apex program, and kind of came to me and said, is there a way I can just stay in this and keep going? Because I think I really have found my niche here. I kind of like what's kind of happening. He'd already earned his construction pathway this sophomore year through electrical. This year he's still continuing with his construction trades with the framing and finishing and the carpentry. proud, very, very proud of Kavan. He's a guy that has emailed me continuously. First of all, it started over break. It started over the fall break. I get an email, Mr. Minnick, can you open up this quiz? Sure. We'll see how long this lasts. It's going to be good weather back home. They're going to be fine. The next day, come on, Mr. Minnick, I need another quiz open. Mr. Minnick, I need another test open. Then it continued through Thanksgiving. It continued on weekends. It continued after school at nights. All those kind of things. He kept putting in the time, putting in the effort. Very, very proud to tell you today, Kavan started the year as a junior. At the end of semester 1, finished his last core class in government and is going to graduate early with this cohort class through the APEX program and our alternative program. Extremely proud of this young man.
Congratulations, Kavan. From South Willie Elementary, nominated by Abigail Norman, is Elena Arnett.
There's so many reasons why I chose Elena for student on the line for third grade at South Whitley. She sets a great example every day for all of her other classmates and everybody in the school. She's always present, always ready to learn. During every lesson, she always raises her hand and volunteers an answer, which not all of my students do, so it's nice to have that from her. Every day she puts her best foot forward, gives her very best effort. She sets a great example by being a really awesome classmate and a really awesome friend. And she always has that positive attitude, always willing to help others and me whenever it's needed. So she sets a really great example of what it means to be a South Whitley Bull.
Congratulations, Elena. From Pearson Elementary, nominated by Laura Cassidy, is Zoe Bingley.
Good evening. I wrote mine down, kind of a writer by heart, and I wanted Zoe to be able to have this to take home with her, so I'm going to read it to you, Zoe. Zoe is that ray of sunshine that every morning she walks through the door. She truly exemplifies our PES home care guidelines that we have on our home care cards. She has the kindest heart, and she leads with integrity, always doing the right thing whether anyone's looking or not. Her heart of gold and leadership skills spill over into everything and anything she does, and she's always willing to go that extra mile. When she's done with her work, it never fails. She volunteers to help those around her. She approaches each task with a growth mindset, and she strives to do her best. When she occasionally gets an answer wrong, she asks, she thinks it through, and she works to understand so that she can do better next time. Our class is privileged to get to spend our day with Zoe, and we appreciate the positive vibes that she brings to our climate and our culture within our classroom and the entire school. Her teamwork and putting others first are contagious, and everyone that gets to interact with her walks away a better person. I truly want Zoe to know how much she appreciates it, and I know her parents have done a wonderful job guiding her through life thus far. So congratulations to Zoe for being the Pearson Elementary Student of the Month for January 2022.
Congratulations, Zoe. And from Little Cats, nominated by Sierra Arnett, is Navy Arnold.
Even though she's little, she is the sweetest little thing ever. When she first started with us, she was kind of one of those kids that she just cried a lot. Like maybe she was small, maybe she didn't quite know like where she was, but we found out her love for food, and she just, she did great. So she's changed to where we can see all the growth that she's had plenty of money to move around and play with all her toys, and the huge strides that she's made in the last few months. She's been great.
Congratulations, Navy. We're going to go through headliners, which is great news from around the district, and once we've done that, then the students of the month are welcome to leave if they'd like to.
Yeah,
He's not here tonight. So since we had to delay our meeting a couple weeks, we just keep accumulating great things for headliners, so we're just going to go through a few of them. Recently, Whitko received a $180,360 grant from Indiana Employee-Sponsored Child Care Initiative. This funding will be used to further advance the Whitko Early Learning Academy. Our Early Learning Academy is the only state-licensed child care facility associated with a public school in Indiana and received that recognition only after meeting a very rigorous and deeply scrutinizing examination from the state. And we want to say a huge congratulations to Whitko senior Justine Oken for being named Kosciuszko County REMC's Artist of the Year. Justine's colored pencil drawing entitled Splashing Away features her older brother riding his horse through a stream with his dog tagging along beside. This work of art garnered her the Best of Show Award for the Electric Company's 2024 calendar. In other art news, Justine Oken, junior Carly Reeser, and sophomore Hannah Moore received gold keys and other recognitions, along with sophomore Chloe Thompson, at the 2024 Regional Scholastic Art Contest. Whitko students received a total of 9 scholastic awards. Their work is on display at the Fort Wayne Museum of Art from February the 10th through April 7th. Juniors Bailey Wolf and Jillian Culp are competing as co-candidates in the 2024 Northeastern Indiana Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of Indiana. Both have had loved ones diagnosed with leukemia. We want to congratulate Landon Smith, who was undefeated in his weight class at the recent Goshen Invitational. 2 other wrestlers, Kaylee Clark and Olivia Pender, advanced to the Indiana High School Girls Wrestling Semi-State Competition, where unfortunately their seasons ended. At regional competition, Kaylee was 2nd and Olivia was 4th in their respective classes. Whitko's first annual Matt Kuntz Classic Super Duels was a great success with 10 area wrestling teams participating in the December 20th event. Heavyweight wrestler Lucas Wagner qualified at sections for regional competition, coming in 4th in his weight class. Joining the 1,000 Point Club are Lady Wildcat Chloe Craig, who was honored at halftime during the varsity basketball game last Friday. Chloe is, of course, a member of the co-champion Three Rivers Conference team. Wildcat Kyler Krull will be recognized for scoring 1,000 points before this Thursday's varsity game with North Miami. And congratulations to our band students on their performances at ISS MA Solo and Ensemble this past Saturday. Collectively, the band received 2 bronze ratings, 10 silver ratings, and 18 gold ratings. Special congratulations go to soloists Reed Deneve, Aliana Krebs, Bastian Love, as well as the clarinet trio of Bastian Love, Ethan Huber, and Michael Slaybaugh, and the saxophone quartet of Juan Macias, Jose Macias, Maggie Clark, and Bastian Love for qualifying for state solo ensemble. And finally, we want to say congratulations to our own Georgia Tenney, who was named Kosciuszko County Woman of the Year at Friday's Kosciuszko County Chamber of Commerce annual awards dinner. In addition to serving on the school board, Georgia is a member of the Pierceton Chamber of Commerce, Pierceton Washington Township Library Board, Pierceton Christmas Committee, and she works with the Pierceton Food Bank. So that was our list of headliners for this evening. Any students of the month that would like to leave, you're welcome to do so at this time. And thank you for being here. We're going to move on to reports from principals and directors. We're going to start tonight with Christy Hoppert from Pierceton Elementary.
It's a good night. I didn't trip. I spilled coffee earlier today, so I don't need to faux pas today. So, good evening.
Good evening.
I just kind of highlighted some things because we've had a couple rescheduled. So, the PTO meeting is February 21st, and I know we are doing a fundraiser, some carnations to add to our slowly raising our funds for PTO. So we did make $900 off of the Christmas store, so that was pretty good, and a free ice maker for the staff lounge. So they're continuing to raise funds and have fun at the same time with the kids, so that's been good. Robotics club, there's a lot here, so I'm just going to summarize. A lot of it, I'm not sure exactly the details of it, but I do know that they are wanting to compete, and they are doing some simulations and some games. One that Mr. Ousley mentioned is Ringmaster, which I don't know a lot about, but I know they're learning basic construction operation and coding of robotic vehicles and trying to get ready for some upcoming competitions, which I think is really exciting. Skipping on, the awards program I think was rescheduled twice, so actually it's tomorrow. So we have the same times, 8:30 to 11:30, and this is for quarter 2. And we're continuing with learning walks in our building with ARC. On the 24th, we joined South Whitley, and that was a great day of in Unit 3 in ARC. So we're going to be looking at pre-assessments and analyzing student work. So that's kind of where we're going next. So I don't want to go over data because I don't know how updated it is for ARC, but I will talk about celebration. So for Unit 2, we had student presentations in the library, and classes visited each other. So different grade levels got to mix up, and different staff members came in. And I know that was very powerful for the kids to be able to authentically present their animal research. And then teachers expressed a noticeable increase in vocabulary, students' vocabulary, and facts in that unit because it was very research-based. So I think that's all I have, but thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
From South Whitley Elementary, Mr. Joel Halsapple.
So we are seeing growth with the use of the ARC curriculum. Teachers are showing confidence in using the materials for our English language arts. These materials are freeing up teachers to teach by building their content knowledge aligned to the state standards. We are seeing students gain confidence in answering questions and in responding in writing to using reading to respond to writing. I heard a really cool story this morning about there's core texts that the students use, and they read them in class, and they're often part of a series of books. And there was a teacher who talked about her daughter wanting to get the second book or continue reading that series that they had started in class. So that was really cool. That's one of the things that we are going to be working on is the reading at home. That's a piece that ARC has where their kids are reading at least 30 minutes at home in addition to what they read at school. So that's what we're going to be adding. We're going to work at that more in March. Back to ARC, we know that this curriculum is a significant investment, and we are receiving world-class professional development in our Monday morning clusters with the support of our master teachers, Melissa Blossom from NIET, and the training coaching we are receiving through the ARC staff, and that's Kate Sacco and Kelly Boyers. I just want to say thank you again for providing us with the resources, the curriculum, the master teachers, who prefer to be called instructional coaches, and the time for our adult learning on Monday. So thank you for making sure that that happens. In the next few months, we are going to see students really grow academically. This is a hard time for teachers and students because it's as you know, the sun doesn't seem like it shines in Indiana, but January, February, and March is when incredible learning happens in our schools. So I'm excited to be able to share that growth with you. We're going to be taking part in state testing. Our second graders in the elementary, our sixth graders are going to be taking in between iRead and iLearn that testing. So our teachers are working at training students for these tests just like a coach prepares their team for competition so that we can say our students are trained and ready for those tests and assessments. So any questions for me?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
From Whitko Career Academy, Mr. Chris Benedict.
Good evening. We briefed tonight. Our work-based learning student for January is Noah Burnworth. He's working at Micropulse. That's always a great place to get into. Recommended by Rebecca Mitchell. Second semester courses off and rolling here. Seventh graders are kind of getting acclimated, I think, to their new schedule. They haven't been into school a full week yet, but they kind of are getting the idea of kind of where they're supposed to be going and those kind of things. We do have our tours for our sophomore and junior students that don't attend the Career Academy this year on Thursday. They'll go around and visit all the different programs that we have, and then maybe make a selection to come next year. And then next Thursday will be our freshman students. They'll be actually selecting a program. They're all in the academies right now, but they will select their pathway next year on next Thursday. Our teachers are implementing their IGPs for second semester. We took a pre-test approach to academic terms to help meet our corporation goal for reading. We want to do academic industry-related terms to whatever program that they're in, so they can help with that technical reading in any those specific areas they may be doing. Teachers monitor those group of students each week to kind of see exactly how much they're improving in each one of those particular areas with that industry-related terminology, and then they'll have a post-test at the end of the year to kind of see the growth that they made over that particular semester. The other thing that I want to mention tonight is, I didn't have on my list, is Mr. Oken is doing another session, second semester here for community corrections welding class, and that's happening on Monday nights for the next 6 weeks. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From Whitko Junior Senior High, Mrs. Amy Evans.
I would like to expand on some of the positive points that were already mentioned. I know we hear a lot of amazing things about our art program, but what a lot of us don't see is all the work that Mr. Malicki does to make sure our students are honored. It's a lot of letter writing, collecting of art, sending it out, communicating with the organizations, and he does this year after year, competition after competition, and I would like everybody to know how much time he puts in, because that's how much he cares for the program. It's not just about awarding the kids. He wants them valued, and of course to showcase their talent. So thank you for talking about Justine's accomplishments, and I would never take away from the student, but also behind those students is an extremely dedicated teacher. The solo and ensemble contest that happened last Saturday, one of the things that I think our Whitko kids excel at is helping me find the rooms. So if you've never been there, it's in a very large school, and the students are in rooms all over the building. And then the time schedule doesn't always stay up to date, but I know where our kids are performing because there's families, there's other students out there waiting to go in with them. And so although I did not get to see nearly all of our students, I think the neat thing was being able to see the support that those kids have. Finally, our February 3rd semi-formal dance has been changed to February 24th. Our girls basketball team, their sectional draw, they play on Friday now, and so we wanted to have them make sure they had an opportunity to attend. So again, that's February 24th from 7 to 10 out here. Thank you.
Thank you. Our athletic director, Barry Singray.
Good evening. Just to go off of what was mentioned in the headliners, I'd like to congratulate Chloe Krieg and Kyler Kroll on reaching the 1,000-point milestone this past week. It's an exciting moment, and it's a lot of fun to celebrate that with two athletes back-to-back like we were able to do. And I believe somebody mentioned, but we'll also be presenting Kyler before the varsity game this Thursday. I would also like to congratulate the girls basketball team on winning the Three Rivers Conference regular season championship. This is just their second time doing so in the history of the school, and the last championship was in 2008. We will also be recognizing the girls team during halftime of this Thursday's boys basketball game, just to recognize them and honor them for this accomplishment. So very proud of Coach Jordan and what his team was able to accomplish this season. It's been a lot of fun to watch them. And also with girls basketball, I look forward to seeing them go into sectional play. They will play this Friday at South Adams High School at 7:30 p.m. They'll play the winner of South Adams and Adams Central. Wrestling also competed in sectionals this past weekend. It's been a little different. I've sort of had to adjust this board report a couple times because events are no longer coming up. They're behind. But they competed hard. It was a lot of fun to watch. It's a great atmosphere if you haven't been to the sectional. They have 4 mats right there at Carroll High School, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I want to congratulate Lucas Wagner on advancing to regionals. He'll wrestle this Saturday, also at Carroll High School. A couple other upcoming events. The Booster Club will be having a Tenderloin fundraiser February 16th before the boys basketball game from 4 to 6 p.m. We'll continue to send out that information in email and on social media. Boys basketball senior night and cheerleading senior night will be February 17th. It's a Saturday evening versus Cherubusco, and we'll do that right before the start of the varsity game. A couple feeder program updates. South Whitley and Pierceton Youth League baseball and softball. This has been something we've been working on for the past 6 to 8 months. They will now be combined into one league and will be called Wildcat Youth League. Excited about this. Both towns and both leagues will now come together and have alignment in their registration process, how teams are formed, cost, all that important stuff, rule books and everything else. And this is really a great way for us to continue to reach out to our future athletes early, use our Whitko branding, and then it'll obviously hopefully help us to continue to build our Whitko summer travel teams and lead into our new Whitko junior high baseball and softball teams as well. So really a big piece of our youth program coming together, and I really want to thank both league presidents, Kerry Lockoff and Chris Staley, for coming together and helping us form this connection and take on the Wildcat name. So very excited about that. I believe that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
I was going to say this 2 weeks ago, and so not just because they won conference, but I guess I'm extend a thank you to Coach Jordan, because I know when he started here, we weren't sure we were going to even have a varsity team. And not only do we have a varsity team, but he has a program, and that's nice to see. So just let him know that. And also the wrestlers, it was nice to see so many competing. I know they're a young team, but that's okay. Hopefully they'll get better, but it's nice to see those numbers up too. So
Yep, I'll pass that along. I think they've done a great job. They're working hard every day. So thank you.
Thank you. Director of Operations, Rhonda Snavely.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. It's been a rough couple weeks. Between the early mornings checking roads for floods and snow and ice, then we've had the plowing and the salting, and then when we think we're over that, then the fog rolls in. So it's been interesting. Transportation, we have our new technician, Doug Wise. He's starting his 3rd week, I believe, and he's doing a fantastic job. He's fixed the salt trucks, some snow blowers, in addition to the buses that he's been working on. Robin Banaka has accepted the position as the assistant to operations, and she started 2 weeks ago, and she's catching on really good. It really helps when we can take people that's already within and kind of bump them up and give them the opportunity because they're familiar with our school and our students and our families, and it really does make it easier to learn some of the other jobs that go along with that. This week, at the end of the week, we're going to have our annual drug audit with the state police, and I've been working on getting quotes for our 2024 bus purchases as well. I should have that ready to submit by the end of the week. We did lose a long-time bus driver. Gail Engelhop has decided to retire. She is going to stay on as a substitute bus driver, but it's going to be a great loss. And she's been driving out of Pierceton for, I'm not even sure how many, but I would say maybe close to 30 years. So we're going to be looking to replace somebody in that route. We do have about 3 people in training, along with
adding Doug and Robin as training for subs as well. In the maintenance side, Rusty Barris has accepted the head custodian position at Pearston, and I think he's doing really well from the people that I've talked to. He's talked to me about some ideas about some things he'd like to get done and some changes he'd like to make, so that's a good step. Sarah Luty's accepted the part-time position here at WCA. I've been working with Garland on the roof project. We do have some repairs that we're going to need to be making at South Whitley Elementary coming up really soon, so I'll be getting all that together as well. And I'm also working with Havel on the tower here at WCA. I think that's all I've got. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Rhonda. Director of Special Services, Carrie Walmer.
Good evening. I recently had the opportunity to work with our secondary staff on the first day back after Christmas break to focus on data review and compliance indicators. We're currently in a monitoring cycle with the DOE for Indicator 13. I've talked a lot about that in months previous, but we're specifically focusing on transition goals and services to meet those requirements. And then moving forward, we're also looking at more inclusive service delivery models. The certification training window for the IM assessment is now open, so our applied skills teachers are participating in that so that they're able to administer the IM assessment. The IDOE Title Grants and Support Office completed their annual risk assessment. We were found to be within a range that resulted in a desktop audit, so I'm currently working on compiling all of the required evidence pieces for the final audit review, which is this Friday, and that would include Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title IV programs. Do you have any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, Jason Klein, Director of Technology.
Good evening. Just a couple of quick updates. With the changes that we've had in our staffing over the last couple of months, we have brought in Charlie Dull to help us get some of our procedures and processes up to date and streamlined and working just a bit better. Mr. Pavarnik, do you have anything to say about Charlie? Okay. Nicholas Meadows has joined us again. He started on the 17th of January. He is working part-time out of the high school and is a welcome return. That brings us to 3 full-time employees, 1 part-time, 1 student, 1 volunteer, and 1 contract helper. We have a few projects that we're working on going forward. We are working on a digital timesheet solution for our payroll department. We are doing a switch upgrade over the summer for our network infrastructure. We are auditing hotspots usage and availability. The ECF funding has dried up on for our hotspots, which is what was pretty much covering those entirely, and we are going to be downsizing that to meet our new needs. Justin has been working on training for Vivi for all of our staff and is about halfway through that process at the moment. And we are looking at gaps in our administration coverage as far as being able to administer various systems in cases of sickness or unavailability. Lastly, we're updating our ticket system, and we are moving to a ticket submission system where we are requiring people to submit tickets for technical assistance, so we can track what is being done and how it's being handled better. Since we have started tracking, we've closed 655 tickets, with 21 currently open for various reasons. Breaks down to about 35% at Pearston, 26% at junior senior high school, 21% at South Whitley, 13% at the Career Academy, and the remainders distributed between central office, maintenance, and transportation. And that is a partial, because we just started really tracking at the beginning of this year. So I look forward to being able to give you more accurate statistics going forward. Any questions?
Just to be clear, the tickets are for assistance with technology problems? Or?
Yeah, any issues with technology, broken Chromebook, Vivi difficulties, Power School, pretty much anything that the technology department deals with, we would request that users send in a ticket so that we have a tracking for it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
4.0 is the superintendent update. Mr. Pavarnik.
Thank you. It's nice to finally get this meeting in. Pearson Elementary School cafeteria clerk Misty Rucker received a $300 donation from the Pearson Sonic Lodge 377 for student needs. Construction project update. Our construction down to junior senior high school, our middle school wing has commenced, has begun. They are working down there diligently, as I understand, and I see pictures of a couple of our staff members with sledgehammers taking on frustration on block walls. So they're making fun of it down there, I guess. But it's good to have that project finally moving down there. And finally, I want to address the situation. The community spoke and brought up some issues. We've always said that we not only listen, but we also hear what's going on when it comes our way. It's incumbent on me to look into those issues. I looked into some of those, and I felt it warranted immediate action. With that, I informed the board that I was placing our Director of Alternative Programs, Jamie Pano, on administrative leave while I look into those issues. One of her responsibilities under that umbrella was as Director of our Early Learning Center. We take that Early Learning Center very seriously. We take the safety and the well-being of our kids and our children in there very seriously. Fortunately, we have a very dedicated staff to step up and help us keep the ship moving in there while we finish. I finished looking into the issues that were brought to our attention. And with us tonight, already up here once, is Ms. Sierra Arnett. Sierra, could you stand up, please, and just let everybody take a look at you being here tonight. Sierra has been with our Early Learning Center since Little Cats. She knows the drill. She's been running the place for a couple of years now as a right-hand person to Ms. Pano. She has agreed tonight, and it's on the board agenda, that she will assume the position of an interim assistant director to Little Cats in our Early Learning Center, and she will be running that with the help of all the staff and me there. And so we're very pleased, Sierra, to have you step up and do that. And I can tell you I've already noticed a difference with her in place there. So thank you for doing that as we move forward to look at our structures. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Pavarnik. We do have a couple of public comments tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and read the criteria for that before I call you up. Attendees must register their intention to participate in the public portion of the meeting upon their arrival at the meeting. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and will be requested to preference their comments by an announcement of their name and group affiliation. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes duration. The presiding officer may prohibit public comments which are frivolous, repetitive, or harassing, interrupt, warn, or terminate a person's statement when the statement is too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. Request any individual to leave the meeting when that person behaves in a manner that is disruptive of the orderly conduct of the meeting. Request the assistance of law enforcement officers in the removal of a disorderly person when that person's behavior interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting. Call for a recess or an adjournment to another time when the lack of public decorum so interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting as to warrant such actions. First up, we have Kyle Myers. He wants to talk about discrimination policy.
we're done, until she's done. I'll go after her. It's okay with you? I'm going to defer to Tamsin.
Okay, I
until
have
she's done, if that's all right.
Tamsin also going to speak, so you're speaking for both of you?
Yeah,
Okay.
first, yeah.
All right, you have 3 minutes, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you for recognizing me and for giving the community a chance to speak this evening. I'm just going to read aloud one of the policies that we are speaking on behalf of Ashley Saunders tonight. Any person that believes that she or he has been discriminated against or denied equal opportunity or access to programs or services may file a complaint, which shall be referred to as a grievance with the superintendent who acts as the corporation's civil rights coordinator. The individual may also at any time contact the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights, and the address is included. The person who believes he or she has a valid basis for grievance shall discuss the grievance informally and on a verbal basis with the corporation's civil rights coordinator, who shall in turn investigate the complaint and reply with an answer to the complainant. She or he may initiate formal procedures according to the following steps. Step 1A, a written statement of the grievance signed by the complainant shall be submitted to the corporation's civil rights coordinator within 5 business days of receipt of answers to the informal complaint. The coordinator shall further investigate the matters of grievance and reply in writing to the complainant within 5 business days. Step 2, if the complainant wishes to appeal the decision of the corporation's civil rights coordinator, she or he may submit a signed statement of appeal to the superintendent of schools within 5 business days after receipt of the coordinator's response. The superintendent shall meet with all parties involved, formulate a conclusion, and respond in writing to the complainant within 10 business days. Step 3, if the complainant remains unsatisfied, she or he may appeal through a signed written statement to the school board within 5 business days of his or her receipt of the superintendent's response in Step 2. In an attempt to resolve the grievance, the school board shall meet with the concerned parties and their representative within 20 business days of the receipt of such an appeal. A copy of the board's disposition of the appeal shall be sent to each concerned party within 10 business days of the meeting. Step 4, if at this point the grievance has not been satisfactorily settled, further appeal may be made to the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights. Okay, that's all we
Thank
wanted
you.
to
We
say.
just wanted to read
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you. 6.0 is business reports and consent agenda. We have an extensive list here, which I hope you've all had time to go through. I do need a motion to accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
I move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. 7.0 is new business. In 7.1, we have the approval of literacy stipends to K through 3 certified teachers and teacher assistants paid with early literacy achievement grant funds. Could I get a motion for this, please?
I move that we approve the literacy stipends for K-3 certified teachers and teacher assistants.
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the literacy stipends for K through 3 certified teacher and teacher assistants. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.2 is the approval of Marcia K. Keener's reappointment to a 4-year term on the Pierceton and Washington Township Public Library. Her new term would start February the 16th of 2024. Can I get a motion, please?
I move we approve Marcia K. Keener's reappointment to a 4-year term on the Pierceton, Washington Township Public Library Board.
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve Marcia K. Keener's reappointment to a 4-year term on the Pierceton and Washington Township Public Library Board. Is there any discussion? And seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.3 is the approval of field trips. Could I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the field trips as presented.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the field trips as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. We have no old business at this time. Mr. Pavarnik, do you have any miscellaneous administrative items?
I do. As many of you may not know, and as you may not be aware, you guys sit up here day in and day out and do all this hard work as school board members for the community. This is actually School Board Member Appreciation Month. And so we have certificates to hand out in appreciation for all that you do for our school and our community. And I'll make sure I get the right certificate and the right person. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lady of the Year from Conshohocken County, thank you very much. Mrs. Thomas, thank you very much. Thank you. And here we are, Scott, always last. Thank you. Thank you guys for all you do very much. We all appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
That's all I have.
All right, in 10.0, we have miscellaneous school board items. The school board will meet in a work session on Wednesday, February the 14th at 4 o'clock in the tap room here in this building. The next regular school board meeting is Monday, February 26th at 6:30 right here in this room. I would entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I move that we adjourn.
Seconded. It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.